So continuing where we left off, that being that matzah and Pesach are similar. It's being that it says by matzahs that it says on matzahs and memory of chulu that you need to eat matzahs. On matzahs memory of chulu that when you eat the matzah you eat the Pesach. Pesach, remember by Pesach it says v'ochlos habasar b'layla hazeh b'layla mamish. You need to eat the korban Pesach at night when it's actual night. And being that you only eat matzah at night, so therefore the 4 cups of wine that the chachamim made have to be eaten at night at the time that you're able to eat matzah. Why? So called Mashiach Chachamim came the angel Torah technique, and the Chachamim instituted is similar to Torah. So therefore, V'koshel Kiddush, and I'll be fine to finish this off. V'koshel Kiddush and making Kiddush. So therefore, Kiddush, by Pesach, has to be Kiddush is one of the 4 cups. It has to be by night, not the fact that you're adding from the weekday to Yom Tov. So it's not really going to help you. On a side note, there's an interesting topic, the nafkamina, meaning what would happen if someone does go ahead and make Pesach early. Then there's a whole discussion in the Paskim, the Megadim, if one wants to go look it up, the Megadim in the beginning of Tefayim Beis, the Megadim on the Taz. In the beginning of Tefayim Beis, he goes into an arichas at length of, let's say someone did make Kiddush early, which is not at the time, and then it does become nighttime. The question arises: do they now need to go ahead and make another bracha? Which that falls into another issue of bracha levatala. It's bracha letzricha. You don't need it. So he goes into whole arichas based off the Gemara on brachas of brought down halacha of Safek Krishma, Safek Krishma. If the person is in doubt whether he doesn't know if he said Krishma or he didn't know if he said Krishma. So if you're in doubt, so the general rule is that if you're in a doubt, you didn't do a mitzvah. So most probably the chazak is that you most probably didn't do it. So therefore you have to go ahead and make the bracha. But over here, it's not necessarily it's not a suffix. And we know the general rule of Ein Sefet Mezivade, meaning there's the surety, we have the assurance that you do need to, you have the mitzvah to say of matzah. Matzah b'zman hazeh is mid Raisa, I think, and that's what you have 2 kizes in one for if it's mitzvah, one for mitzvah rabbanon. But anyhow, it's an interesting thing how he goes into the nafkamina would be if someone made Kiddush early. The issue would be, does he have to go back and make Kiddush again, make another bracha? What exactly is it? The other issue would be is also he digresses a little bit over there, and he goes into about not eating before that the matzah needs to be eaten ala sefer. It has to be eaten. Pesach especially, you need to eat the matzah on an empty stomach. You have to eat it hungry. You have to have an appetite to show that mitzvahs are special to you. Same thing regarding Shabbos, but Pesach even more. In a way, it's if I'm not mistaken, he brings down the Megadim that it's those that hold that is their Raisa, that you are not allowed to eat before Pesach. So now going back to, just wanted to bring up that idea of the importance of dafka by night, not taking in early to be Ma'aseh Machal or Kodesh, bringing Yom Tif in early. So that's halacha. Basically telling us that one has to, right after marriage, one has to go home quickly. No schmoozing and shul, wants to go home early in order to start the Seder, in order that the kids shouldn't fall asleep. And you have to, being that matzah needs to be eaten at night because matzah is considered the Pesach, and the Pesach had to be eaten at night. So therefore, matzah b'zman hazeh, matzah b'zman hazeh is still deraisa, even though we don't have the korban Pesach. Matzah min yachulu. So therefore, even b'zman hazeh, you need to do. You need to eat the matzah at the time that you were able back in the times of the Beis Hamikdash, and it should be nowadays. That this year, technically, to envision ourselves that we'll be eating the matzah with the korban Pesach, so it would have to be b'layla. Matzah has to be by night, not like by Shabbos and Yom Tov. You can take it now. Halacha Gimel, Dalet, and Hey. The Alter Rebbe goes into the halachas of velus, meaning someone who nishtagdach le'atav le'aleinu alayid le'richzah from teves. Someone who lost a parent does still need to do haseba, even if someone who lost a parent on or a relative, someone they're mechuyev to be an awful for, even if someone passed away Erev Yom Tif, once they sat an hour of Shiva, then Yom Tif is Mevatel Kol Shiva, so therefore they automatically have to do what the Yisrael to do has Seba. And then after it goes in halacha hey, the oval is chayav and halal. But being that halal on Pesach is a chayva, is an obligation, so even though we don't say halal in the base of oval, nevertheless Pesach it's a chiyuv. Halacha vav, the Alter Rebbe goes into about dishes. That the Alter Rebbe says, that even though the rest of the year, one should diminish in having nice plates and cutlery and china, in order to remember the and however by Pesach, it is good to have an abundance of china, of nice kalim, based on a person's budget. Even kalim that you don't need for the suda, just to make it look nice for decor, one should put them set up nicely on his table to show on one's freedom, as the Rebbe is going to say later in Halacha Zayin, that everything that we do the night of Pesach, one does in Derech Chedes, one does to be shown in a free way, and that the Nafkamina and the Halacha would be in every single aspect in regards to matzah, doing a seba. If you didn't do a seba, do you need to drink it again? As we're going to say later on about drinking of the wine, liking the wine, not liking, disliking certain wines, etc. So the Rebbe goes, then the Rebbe says, even going as far as borrowing kalim, borrowing vessels from one's neighbors, one could still put them on the table even if he borrowed from his non-Jewish neighbors. Even if he wants to use them. And even if you just borrowed it, so technically you're not necessarily you told the guy you're going to borrow it, and you're using it now, technically as a his das, you're doing something without his knowledge. But I'll have to go check up and get back to you guys tomorrow on what that means. So we're going to stop here. But Zion is going to be that a person has to set up their chair in order to recline, and we're going into details about that. Therefore, everything that one does, as we'll just finish up what he says in Halacha Zion, the people that all that, everything that a person does, the Seder night of Pesach, has to be in a way of cheres, has to show on freedom. That's why even like we said in Halacha Vav, in the previous Halacha, even the kelim, even the china, the decor that a person is not going to use on a regular day, he doesn't put it on his table. Dafka by Pesach, one is supposed to put it on their table. See you on the next one.